past few months, we've been studying theater. We look at the ins and outs of how a theater runs and how plays get put on stage. This week, we're going to look at an in-depth look on how a play actually works. We traveled to Maranatha Baptist University and got the behind-the-scenes look at their play, The Music Man.
I think what made The Music Man so special was the effort put in by everyone. Whether it was a kid who was just an extra and had no lines or anything like that, they put in their best effort. And so from the leads of Jay and I down to the most insignificant parts, everyone put in their best effort. And I'd say that was the thing that really made it work, that everyone clicked together and everyone worked really, really hard.
We started talking a year ago, more than a year ago, about what productions we would do for the 50th anniversary and wanted to make them blockbuster kind of shows. And so we chose to do Much Ado in the fall, and then for the spring it was time for musical, and we thought we would try to do Sound of Music, except it wasn't available from the company. Apparently someone else is doing it too close by. So our second choice was Music Man and the Providence of God. I think that was what was meant to be all along. So we've done it before, 9 years ago. We knew we liked the show. It was a good fit for Maranatha. We had a stellar cast. We had quality people in the two leading roles, but there were no slouches in the supporting roles either. And the people that filled down the line through the cast list, everyone was excited to be in it and gave 110%.
The kids were really into it from the very beginning. We never had a bad practice or a complaining practice. They just really worked, and it also helped that the two lead characters had their stuff memorized even before they got the parts. But I didn't know that until after it was all over.
Both of them came to both nights of auditions, had pretty much the roles already memorized, which was pretty amazing. And but it wasn't necessarily a shoe-in terms of them getting the part. I mean, they did well, and I was impressed, but there were others that did well, and so there was a need for a callback. I listened to 4 possible Harolds and 4 possible Marians, but as the Lord would have it, they were the two that rose to the top.
Amelia and I were really dedicated to the roles. We've been working on this ever since last spring when they announced that the play was going to be The Music Man for this spring. And we knew as soon as we heard that we wanted the parts, because we'd both grown up on The Music Man, and so we worked for a year towards this, even before way before auditions. Before we had any idea that we would get the roles, we were working on it, hoping that we could get the roles. So I think part of it, the success comes from the fact that we just put a lot of effort into these roles.
She's a very easy role for me to play in the sense that I have a lot of similarities with her, that she's kind of savage, but she's actually very sweet. You just have to get around kind of her rough edges. She makes quick judgments about people. That's something that obviously is kind of very similar, that she kind of assumes the worst unless she knows different. And so in that way, because of her difficult past, I'd say it's something that's kind of similar, that, you know, she doesn't just trust anyone. I'd say that's something I have in common with her. But the difficulties of playing her, besides the A flats, was the G's and the F's. Like, the biggest thing was the music. She sings a lot of high notes and a lot of different songs. So the music was most definitely the most challenging part. I had to put in a lot of work on the music, but we got there, so.
Me, I'm the mayor. I play a 60-year-old man. I don't sing. I think that the mayor has a distinct voice. I tend to be down lower. He's very grovelly and very, very loud. He's very get out of my way sort of man, or I will hurt you.
Which is why I interrupted the program at this point. And remember, my fellow river citizens, that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from happening.
Scripulous, flew by night, young Scripulous. Right now it's all kind of in a... You'll be down at City Hall with your papers at 3 o'clock. So... You mean this afternoon? I couldn't be any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
There's a very specific scene that comes to the top of my head. I see Tommy Gillis flirting with Zanita, my oldest daughter, and I go, "Get your hands off my daughter!" Except 10 times louder than that, hopefully. And it's supposed to scare the pants off the audience, and hopefully those in the play as well, because their reaction is genuine, you know. But the challenge that is keeping the voice under control sometimes. I remember for drama camp, I came home that Saturday with no voice, absolutely no voice. Even from being the mayor for a week. I've been the mayor for 6 weeks thus far with this musical, 6-7 weeks, and yeah, longer than that. But yeah, the Lord's blessing allowed me to keep my voice. But I'd say that's definitely the main challenge of the way I hear the mayor, because of the voice.
Well, as far as playing the role, like, it's kind of cool because you're playing like a character who's playing a character. Because you've got Harold Hill, who's his con man, and then you've got Gregory, which is his actual real life persona. And so I'm playing Gregory, who is playing Harold Hill, which is kind of an odd thing for an actor to do. Kind of a neat one too.
Well, so the choreography in general is very simplistic. The most difficult scenes I actually didn't have choreography in. Like, if you take the scene 76 Trombones, I don't move at all, I sit at the piano. So as far as choreography for the entire play, that was the most difficult, and I wasn't part of that. However, Jay and I did re-choreograph the whole Mary and the Librarian scene. No. It's a... Where you say no. No, because cause is the always set down.
There's not good.
No, it's a long lost cause.
So I'm long. The process between us coming up with our characters and how our characters would work on the stage, how they'd move and everything, was very collaborative, very open with the directors. So Mrs. Ruffin gave us a lot of opportunity to choose how we would move and act based on the characters that we built. And so Amelia and I got to work on like the Mary and the Librarian scene, the blocking where the two of us are moving around was a lot of our own work because we knew the characters, we knew what their motivation would be for all of these movements, and so that really helped, I think, make it more believable because we built these movements based off of our characters' motivations.
Once you got it down, it was just so much fun because it was very natural choreography.
We all bonded really well as a cast, even with all 50 of us, or 52, however many. And so having that many people working so well together as one cohesive unit, I think helped make it a believable play.
Isaiah works hard each set to make it unique and perfect. And Kelly works hard and keeps records about getting the sets and that kind of stuff. So everybody works together. The ultimate goal is do your best.
First of all, the fact that you just work with Christians is amazing because you all have the same worldview. But secondly, drama tends to bring out the worst in people. It brings out the divas, it brings out the self-centered, arrogant people, and it just brings out the worst in people. And we didn't have any of that. Like, we didn't have any divas, we didn't have people who were being extra and selfish, and everyone was all about serving each other. And to see the camaraderie in a cast of people who could be all self-centered about how they want to be in the starlight, it was incredible.
Hi, I'm Nate Fickus, and I'm in the music band in the boys band. And what it's like to be in a play is that sometimes it's frustrating, but you get to meet new people, you get to make people laugh, and it's just really fun for me because I like to dress up as people.
So I'll put this into context. One of my friends who's a big theater nerd and I think she has a minor in theater at Oakland University back in Michigan. She came to the play with my family. And Oakland's definitely got a lot bigger stage. They've got people who are professionally trained in doing their lighting and sound and stage building and everything. And she was absolutely amazed at what our stage was like, how our lights were done, our costumes and everything, which is really incredible because like we have Isaiah Otkin, who he's got a brilliant mind for it and puts together these things that no one else could ever think of. And generally it's nice because with a smaller body of students, you have more opportunities for drama. Like, I'm a math major and I've got an English minor, so I really have no actual connection to drama. But because there's not, 100 theater majors lined up fighting for the role, I have more opportunity to get into roles and broaden my perspective on things. So that's one really nice thing about doing theater here at MBU. I mean, there's cons too. Our stage isn't the biggest, but the way Isaiah works with it, he uses our room very, very well. And the Millers and Mrs. Ruffin, both very different processes, but both very good directors. They manage to work with large casts really well. 50 people is a lot of people to control, and Mrs. Ruffin has done it multiple times since I've been here. And the Millers did it with Christmas Carol and other plays before. And so their ability to control a large cast and still allow input without being dictatorial is a leadership talent that not everyone has, but our directors have here.
What makes Maranatha's drama different, I think, probably is the mindset of the production team, starting from the director, our department head actually, Mr. Miller, all the way down through the ranks, that our goal is to glorify God. And so even in a secular production like Music Man, we wanted to be, we refer to it regularly as our sacrifice of praise to the Lord, that we want it to be excellent, to show the Lord that we are grateful for the gifts He has given us, and we want to make it appropriate and stellar as much as within us lies. And so I think that probably foundationally is the case. And the Lord just has given us, assembled a good group of a leadership team in the music and drama departments, that there is a level of ability and talent that is commensurate with other institutions, but add the spiritual aspect of it and the idea of wanting to glorify God and it just really kicks it up a notch.
The people that you work with, I mean, one of the saddest parts of this is my last play at MU, and one of the saddest parts of that was realizing that this is my last time to do a play at Maranatha, like at